Yeah, hi everyone. I request you all to please turn on your cameras for the people having bandwidth problem. I can understand. So yeah, we are here to talk. We are here to learn. So I should start with someone. Somebody wants to volunteer. Let's start with the introduction part first. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, Raghav, you are audible.
Okay. So let's start with Veena. Veena, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, can you all please turn on your cameras? We'll be able to interact better if we can see each other. Why don't you introduce yourself, Veena?
Okay. I have introduced myself. My name is Veena Morani. I am doing investment banking certificate course from Maticus. And apart this, I am doing two internship also. One is equity research and licensing, and the second is research and field. And I did my graduation from Canaria College in commerce stream.
Piyush, am I audible? Hi, Piyush, are you there? This is not there. We'll try Nishta. Nishta, are you there?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, Nishta, you're audible now. Please turn on your camera and tell us about yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Nishtha Gupta. I have completed my BCom and MCom from Rajasthan University, and I have completed my even CA intern a level and articleship, and yeah, now I have joined this course for looking future in investment bank.
Perfect, perfect. When you were saying this, were you not confident about this? that you're looking for the future?
No, I am confident. Yes, I am confident.
You're confident.
Yeah.
Okay, so say that next time when somebody asks you that,
Yeah.
you say that with a smile and show some confidence in your face.
Okay, okay, sir.
All right. Who's this? Sanu Gupta. Can we hear from you?
Sure, Raghav. Good afternoon, Raghav. My name is Shanu
Good
Gupta.
afternoon. Please
My
turn
name
on
is
your
Shanu Gupta.
video.
I'm sorry, Raghav, due to some issues, I will not be able to turn my video on. I hope
That's
you understand.
understandable. Yeah, I do.
So let's start with my intro. My name is Shanu Gupta. Uh, I am a BA graduate and currently I am working at Genpact. I have overall 4 years of experience. Earlier 2 years I was working with MetLife, and currently I'm working with Genpact as a process developer.
Oh, wow.
And I'm pursuing a CIBOP course from Ematicus as well to get into IB. That's it. Do I need to explain, give a brief intro?
I'm okay with that. If you want to give, please proceed.
Okay, so I'm a BA graduate. I have completed my graduation from Rajasthan University, Jaipur. My hobbies are traveling, cooking, food, watching movies, etc. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So when you say food, is that hobby is eating or cooking?
You can say both.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Can I hear from Harsha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Harsha. Please turn on your video if you can.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, you are audible, Harsha. Please turn on your video and give a brief intro about yourself.
You are not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please tell us about yourself, Harsha.
My name is Harsha Bachwani. I belong to Jaipur itself. I have completed my schooling from Vidya Vihar and completed my graduation from Rajasthan University. And currently, I'm associated with VSI, Vidyasagar Institute. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, I think it's my turn to introduce myself. Hi, people. My name is Raghav Sharma, as you already know. I have over 8.5 years of experience in
Sorry.
hardcore investment
Sorry,
banking.
could you please pardon?
Am I audible now?
Sorry, could you please pardon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as you all know, my name is Raghav Sharma, and I'm having over 8.5 years over experience of hardcore investment banking operations. I have worked with companies like Deutsche Bank, HSBC, State Street, JP Morgan, and I have also handled other businesses in this 8.5 years. And it was a fantastic journey overall. I'm also from Rajasthan, Jaipur. I have done my graduation from Rajasthan University itself and my MBA from Pune. One interesting fact I would like to tell you all about me is once I was there in your place, I am also an, you can say, outcome of Ematicus learning. And if you guys are here, if all of you are here to, to make a future investment banking and investment banking operations, I would tell you that look at me. I am the outcome of the Smarticus learning program, CIBOP only, and you are all in the right place if you are looking for job in investment banking operations. I hope that excites you all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Raghav.
Yes, that's really great.
Fantastic. The only difference between me and you is I actually enjoyed the classroom training. So my trainers used to flew from Bangalore or Mumbai or Pune, and we used to get the classroom trainings. Unfortunately, because of this pandemic situation, we all are meeting here on virtual platforms. Hopefully, one day we'll all meet face to face, and let's see when that day comes. With this, I hope everybody is safe and mildly or if possible, totally unaffected by this coronavirus. All right.
Yes.
Yes, Raghav.
So we'll start our session for today. Few things before uh, starting. I know somebody would of you would be, watching Netflix, watching Prime videos. That is absolutely acceptable for me, but it is expected from you that you pay your attention, because this I'm trying to make this session as learning and as fruitful as possible for all of us. And if whenever you are called your name, whenever I call your name, you please have to respond. Is that clear?
Sure, Raghav.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And the default technique of asking
Sure.
questions we'll be using is by raising hands. You will raise your hands, and I will come to know on my screen that somebody has raised the hand, and I will address. Whenever I'll ask any question, we will follow the same practice. All right?
Sure.
Right. Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Because the one thing common across all investment banking companies and all investment banking departments, all investment banking operations is a system, is a discipline. If we follow that, we will surely be a part of it. Let's start. So yeah, today's agenda, as discussed already, is our trade life cycle. So these are the topics we are going to cover in our journey of understanding today. The first topic which we'll cover is what is trade, why. The second topic will be why trading. Then we'll look into the basics of a trade life cycle. Then we'll see what all parties are involved in trade life cycle. Next topic will be steps of a trade life cycle. And then finally we'll conclude to our question and answers, that is a Q&A session. All right. These will be some of the new words that you encountered during this training session. Trade date, settlement date, price, quantity, trade direction, underlier, account numbers, depository, brokerage, standard settlement instructions, or SSI, what we call them, speculating, accumulating, hedging, and custodian, clearinghouse. All these words, I know you are into this CIBOP course. You might not have heard all of these words. Some of them you might have heard it. Some of the words are still unknown to you. We'll try to cover as much as possible with it. So let me ask you this once. What do you understand by trade? Who wants to answer?
So it's just a transfer of goods, services, and exchange of money.
When the trade is executed in the market.
When the sorry, when I said something.
Order is executed in the market.
You are still not audible, Veena.
When an order is executed in the market.
When an order is executed in the market.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody else want to give it a try?
Basically, buying and selling of goods and services.
Okay, perfect. So yes, we all are absolutely correct. Buying and selling of goods and services is termed as trading in general terms. In general, trading means buying and selling of goods and services in lieu of cash, mostly. This is what the answer came from you guys, and all of them are correct. In the language of finance, trading is usually referred to buying and selling, or exchange of securities and currencies. So whenever in finance language we come across this word trading, that we are referring to buying and selling of securities. All right. We are not here to purchase bananas. This is a very interesting question. Can somebody tell me why do people trade?
To make profit.
To make profit. Somebody else? Vansh Parnami, can I hear it from you?
Good morning, sir.
Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nala. The basic requirement or the basic mindset behind making a transaction, from my point of view, would be also making profit.
Priya Dumani, do you have a different perspective? Priya, are you with us or with
Yes,
Netflix?
sir. Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's your perspective on trading? Why do people trade? Why
Sir,
to even bother about trading?
sir, to earn profit.
To earn profits.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody who wants to say anything different? This is the time. Yogesh, you have raised your hand, I see.
Actually, I raised my hand at that time only, and I was like, my answer is also same that to earn profit, people trade.
Okay. So in this case, you all people are correct. Can you see my screen?
Here, Raghav, it's visible.
Okay. So the primary reason behind trading is same as almost every financial activity, which is either to make money or to save money. Are we on the same page, everybody?
Yes,
All the financial activities in this market are done either to make money or to save money. Somebody is either making money or somebody is trying to save money. When we make money, we make by using two ways, that is speculating and accumulating. Speculating usually means when you enter into the market raw, you are there to take risk. You make a guess and see what is the moment of what is the direction of the security, which direction will the share go. That share go, that is speculating when you actually don't know. Accumulating is something when you enter into the money making business with a low risk capacity, the low risk appetite, like investing in debentures, bonds, etc. And hedging over here means to save your position, to compensate for your degrading position. For example, if somebody is having
Sir,
a short position, is somebody trying to say something? Hello?
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you please speak a little bit louder?
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So hedging is to protect your current position, to protect your current finances, or to protect your current investments. Okay. Can does anybody over here already knows what is hedging? Can somebody give me a layman example of hedging?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Harsha, right?
Sir, if someone, yes, if someone has position in the market already and he thinks the market goes up opposite to his expectations, then he came into the market for has protect their position.
Mhm. Okay. I am a 10-year-old kid, Harsha. If you have to explain me hedging, how would you?
For example, if we have an asset and we would like to protect it from floods, so we will go for the hedging trade.
Yes, absolutely. For example, a cricket match of India and Pakistan is happening. All the boys might over here will understand this very closely. Uh, but yeah, let's consider this example. For example, a match between India and Pakistan is happening. India being my favorite, I am investing my money on India. Let's put our money on India. And gradually, while as the match progresses, we see that instead of India, our favorite team on which we are investing, Pakistan has started winning. Pakistan is hitting sixes. No, then we see that our money on India is somewhat lost. It's already lost because the match has progressed. Now everybody is trying to speculate that Pakistan will win. So, in order to save your losses or to minimize them to an extent to which your loss becomes negotiable or non-reasonable, we start investing in Pakistan. That particular thing is hedging to protect our position, protect our investments. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Let's move ahead. Please let me know if any point of time my screen is not visible or it blacks out. So basic definition of trade life cycle is all the activities right from order placing till final settlement of trades are collectively called as trade life cycle. So have anybody recently ordered from Zomato or Swiggy?
Yes, I have placed order like few days back.
Few days back. Who is this speaking?
Punch.
Vansh. Okay, Vansh. So can you please tell us all what exactly are the steps? Okay, which platform are you telling us about, Zomato or Swiggy?
Zomato.
Okay. Can you please explain all the steps one by one?
So first I selected the restaurant, and then after that I selected the like one of the items from the menu, and then
Okay.
I added that item into my basket.
Okay.
Then after that I got a information or a confirmation from their end that the order has been accepted from the restaurant as well. And then after that, I got another confirmation that your order has been picked. And after that, I got like a last confirmation that the delivery boy is like a few minutes away from your place. And then the delivery boy came at my place and he gave me a call and he handed over me the order.
Perfect. That was very close. That was really very close of you. But you did miss some of the steps. So I will not say that was 100% accurate. So yeah, I'll I'll again start what Vansh said. So you first open the app. All right. Then you see there are a couple of restaurants with different foods. There is continental, there is Thai food, then Chinese, then Punjabi, and then somebody will be craving for momos, and then there will be lots of other foods. Okay. What is happening to my screen today? Okay. So you see many restaurants over there and lots of food which might interest you. Okay. All of them are there to do one thing, that is sales. Zomato himself is, luring you with offers, get 50% off, apply this coupon, get 70% off, apply this coupon, buy one, get one free, get this coupon. All of this, which, giving you options, making things available for you on a platform is called sales. That is the very first part of trade life cycle. When you are going to do a trade, as we have discussed earlier, buying and selling of goods and services is called a trade. So whenever we are going to do a trade, whenever we are going to execute a trade with Zomato, the first point we encounter is sales. Then what we do is then we initiate our order. For example, as Vansh said, we have picked up something. and we have added it to a basket. That when we are adding something to our basket, that means we have made up our mind to buy that product now. Am I clear? Now, whenever we go ahead and make the payment, that is your your trade has been initiated. Then what Zomato does is Zomato does not confirm immediately. The Zomato app first captures the trade, gives it to the respective restaurant, and tell them that your order has been done. Then that some order has come to your restaurant. Then what restaurant people does is they check in their inventory if that particular order can be fulfilled. When that order is fulfilled, then they will accept the request on Zomato, and then Zomato will tell you that your order has been confirmed. That was part of trade capture and trade validation and enrichment. Then comes your trade confirmation, which is confirmation from Zomato. In Zomato, people say that your order is confirmed. That means Zomato has now become a liability. What happens once if Zomato, after accepting your order, Zomato doesn't provide your food? What happens?
Sir, if I have paid in advance, they'll provide me credits in my wallet or they'll return the money in my bank account.
Exactly. In certain cases, they will not only reverse your payment, they will also provide you some extra vouchers or discount coupons or codes because they were not able to fulfill their agreed liability. They have taken money from you, and they in agreement that they will provide you food. Once they fail, they provide you not only provide you your money back, that is for sure. Sometimes they also provide you coupons, some discount code, additional code specialized for you, just to make it up for you, right? That implies that once the order is confirmed, that Zomato has come into a legal agreement with you to provide you food. Okay. Now, the next step is after the order confirmation, your order is preparing. Your order will go into the kitchen, it will start preparing. That will be their back office work. You don't have to do anything with that. That will happen in their kitchen. Then the delivery boy comes. That's your middle office, the middle office from Zomato. Then your delivery boy will come and collect the order and hand it over to you. You are the customer. That will be your trade settlement. Okay, your both the parties have executed their deliverables. Both the parties have made the deliveries. You on your end have made the delivery, whereas Zomato on their hand has made the delivery of the food. And when you give them a rating, 5 star or 1 star, depending on what you have ordered, that is reconciliation. You have reconciled everything. Okay, you have received the order, you have made the payment, and this is your feedback on the food. That is reconciliation. You both are telling on what all happened. Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Was Zomato a good example? Did you get a small hint, small idea what is a trade life cycle?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Raghav, absolutely.
That's right.
Perfect. Before we move ahead, we move further, it is very important for us to understand that there are different products available in the market. There are different type of securities, there are different type of bonds, debentures, there are mutual funds, there are hedge funds, there are derivatives, swaps, options, future forwards, lot of financial assets available in the market. Okay, so for different products, there are different markets. For different markets, for different geographies, there are different steps for each trade life cycle. But more or less, this is a universal trade life cycle. Someday you will come across a different product which will be having two additional steps in a trade life cycle. For example, trade matching. And I would say that that is a part of trade capture or trade execution. Okay. Some orders, some trades are so simple that they will even skip 2 or 3 steps. That doesn't mean that this particular trade life cycle is wrong. This is applicable to universal trades. All the trades more or less are having these 8 steps. All right. People, are we clear?
Yes, Raghav.
Perfect. So this is about the parties involved in trade life cycle. What all parties are involved in the trade life cycle? Of course, the end parties, the buyer and the seller themselves are first involved in the trade life cycle. Then comes into the scene the investment banks. Then there are brokers. Then there are custodians. Then there are banks. Then there are exchanges. Then there are clearinghouse. Then there is depository. And then finally, we have documentation standard providers. We will look into each of them one by one. Before moving ahead, I would like to hear from you. Is there any question for me till now?
No.
No?
No, sir.
No.
So are we good to proceed?
Yes.
Perfect. So we'll look into each and every topic one by one. First, we'll look into what is investment bank. So investment banks is an intermediary between investors who are willing to invest their money and the organization or companies looking forward to raise capital. So with the help of this diagram, we'll be able to understand what is an investment bank. So you see that there is an investment bank. It will act as a mediator between investor and the company. Sorry, this is wrongly marked. It should be the organization looking forward to raise the capital. And this is the investor. Investment banking has different operations, different departments, which will help you to perform different set of activities of financial activities, which will in terms help you to uh, make a correct and informed uh, decision or the investment decision. I'm sorry. Investment bank also works as an underwriter. It is also a financial advisor for complex financial activities like mergers and acquisition. It is also a very reliable source of market research because investment banks are through day in and day out into financial market, and they are the best place to go and take any market research news. Are we clear about investment bank?
Yes, sir.
Anybody has any questions, because all of you are going to be there one day? Sorry, I'm unable to hear you. Somebody is trying to speak.
No doubt, sir. Yeah.
No doubts till now.
Can anybody tell me what is an underwriter? Anybody?
So during the time of an IPO, the whole process of an IPO is carried by an underwriter, and investment bank acts as underwriters for the company who want to go public.
Okay. Anuradha Pandya.
Yes, yes. Is the
Do you, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is a financial instrument that buy all the unsold shares in the issue of new shares.
Okay. That is one of the functions of an underwriter, Anuradha, yes. But what is the major function of an underwriter?
basically ensuring that the minimum subscription would be fulfilled when a company goes for an IPO or FPO.
That is again the secondary function. The primary function of an underwriter is to facilitate the IPO. It is to ensure that the share releases. The what is an IPO? IPO is initial public offer. It is a process where a company goes public. They raise capital by dividing the capital into shares and inviting open public, the general public, to come and buy the shares and be a member of the company, be a board member of the company. So what people get decision power, share in the company. If the company will perform, the shares will appreciate and they will get returns. And if unfortunately the company is unable to perform, their shares will depreciate. So to get this complex thing into the market, this duty is of an underwriter. So underwriter, yes, as Piyush and Anuradha said that they buy the unsold shares. Yes, they do. They commit a minimum sales, or we can say that we call it subscriptions in IPO. They commit a minimum subscriptions that we will work hard to get these many shares, this percentage of shares subscribed in the market. In the very unfortunate case of under subscription, yes, underwriters have that liability. They buy the unsold shares. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes.
so then how would we differentiate between the lead managers and underwriters?
See, underwriters are basically organizations, complete organizations. All right. As we have discussed, the primary function of underwriters is what?
To facilitate the IPO.
Yeah. Can you guys give me a moment? Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, what we discussed was underwriters are organizations. Okay. Who asked this question?
Me, sir.
Piyush. Okay. So Piyush, underwriters are very complex and big organizations. Okay, who are responsible to facilitate the IPO. Lead managers, on the other hand, is someone in the underwriting organization who is in charge for that IPO. Okay, for example, you Piyush have a company and Piyush wants to release the IPO, launch the IPO. They hire, for example, a company called PwC as their underwriters. So PwC then becomes your underwriter, and the person that particular underwriting company might be doing underwriting works for other IPOs as well. It's not like that yet. When the Piyush is launching the IPO, it's only Piyush in the market who's launching IPO. Okay, there are other people as well who might be either launching or on the way or maybe needing help. So they will be helping other companies as well to launch their IPOs. In that particular underwriter company, PwC, lead manager is someone who is appointed as an in charge to take care of your IPO only. For example, Shanu has been appointed as lead manager for Piyush's IPO. Shanu's company might be working for different other IPOs, but Shanu himself will be working only on Piyush's IPO. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. So basically, underwriter is a wider concept than lead managers.
Exactly.
Okay, sir.
Sakshi, you can anytime correct me if I go wrong anytime.
Sorry, Raghav, I didn't get you.
You can correct me anytime if I go wrong.
Just give me a second.
All right. Any other questions that I can address to?
No.
Perfect. In that case, we'll move ahead. So the second participant in trade life cycle is a broker. I hope everybody understands who was a broker.
Yes, Raghav.
Okay. So whenever you will be reading definitions about broker online or somebody will be telling you, you might come across sometimes broker has been referred as a catalyst. Okay, that broker is a catalyst between buyer and seller or something like that. But actually, broker is an intermediary between buyer and seller and the stock exchange. So, has anybody got a flat recently, or somebody in their known have got a flat recently? I am assuming that nobody has got a flat recently. Okay, I'll tell you. So what happens is the usual process is you go out and look for a broker. You don't look for a flat because if you put in your efforts looking into a flat, you will end up looking one or two flats. Okay, you'll be able to find one or two flats. On the other hand, when you go out and put your efforts to look for a good broker, that particular effort will lead you to at least 10 to 15 different flats. Does everybody agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Raghav.
Yeah, that is the importance of broker. If you find two to three such brokers, you will be occupied for a month. Daily, you can go out and look for a flat that this, because broker are the people who are in touch with the flat owners, with the real estate people. They will be having a lot of idea of where are the prices high, where are the prices low, depending on your needs, where you can find a good house. All right. So broker is actually not a catalyst. What I understand from the word catalyst is a chemistry word which exaggerates the equation, which exaggerates the chemical equation. In chemistry, the word is used for catalyst. For example, you are already doing something, and any catalyst, when added to that equation, will make that equation fast. Okay, so here the broker is not a catalyst because the equation will not start without you. So broker is basically a tool, a very handy, a very performable tool which you can rely on to find a good contract for yourself. Let it be a financial contract, let it be a real estate contract, let it be any kind of contract. Okay, shall we move ahead?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
So,
Sir,
any
uh,
questions on broker? Yeah,
sir, I have one question. Is there any
yes,
difference between merchant bank and lead manager?
yes, there is a difference between merchant bank and lead manager. What do we have understand about lead manager right now?
Sir, I want to know about the work between these both.
Okay, basically, what do you understand the merchant bank is? Merchant bank is even a wider term. Okay, So see, this is the part of finance which you should not be confused at. One second. Let me just turn on the video. Who asked this question?
Veena.
Veena, please turn on your video. Veena, you can turn on your video. We'll be able to interact better. Okay. So what happens is this is a very mixed concept. In financial markets, in this finance industry itself, there are many companies who are doing a lot of different roles. Okay. Merchant banking is again a wider term than what do we say, underwriters, right? So merchant banking not only does underwriting, they do different kind of financial advisories also. They do different small part of treasury businesses as well. So that is merchant bank. And lead manager is, again, as we discussed, is the person who is in charge for a different IPO. Have you understood lead manager? What is a lead manager? And merchant bank is some, again, a wider term, a very wide term. So it is a banking institution who will be doing different tasks. So what is the best part? There will be instances where you will find the same bank only. For example, let's talk about Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is actually the nearest and the best opportunity for all of you guys to work in. If you are going to work in investment banking operations, Deutsche Bank is the nearest opportunity for all of you. So let's consider the example of Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is will be working as a custodian also for somebody. Then Deutsche Bank is into retail banking also. Deutsche Bank is an investment bank also. Deutsche Bank is some part is doing corporate banking also. Then merchant banking also. So there will be companies who will be doing different works because they are so huge, they are so vast that there are lots of people working in the company. They can assign different departments to different people and so on. Are we clear? Guys, before moving forward, what is that time that you guys want to go for a lunch break?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. So 2 o'clock is maximum for you. If there's anything no, before that, you guys are okay with that.
As you wish.
Okay.
Whatever is
So
fine with you.
sorry?
I'm saying whatever is fine with you.
All right. What I'm thinking is we'll complete the participants of Trade Life Cycle and then we'll go for a quick lunch. How much break do you guys usually take?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm going to be generous with that.
no issues.
Okay. So we'll move ahead from broker to custodian. Okay. So custodian or custodian bank, we may call it sometimes, is again a specialized financial institution responsible for safeguarding a firm's or individual's financial assets. Now, what do we understand by that? For example, the screen is visible.
No, sir.
No,
My bad. My bad. Guys, any point of time, if you think that the session is going a little bit overwhelming, or if I'm going too fast or too slow, you can just let me know, because my intention over here is to make everything clear in your head. This is a very vast industry. Finance industry is a very vast industry. Okay, so it is not possible to cover each and everything on the moment, but it's always a good idea to understand the concepts, what actually a particular thing or particular thing is all about. Okay, So I'm trying to do my best over here, and I need little support from all of you guys. You can just let me know. I'm open to any suggestions or feedbacks. Okay,
Sure, sir.
thank you very much. So a custodian or a custodian bank is a specialized financial institution who is responsible for safeguarding a firm's or individual's financial assets. Please mark my words. I'm using the term financial assets over here. Okay, I'm not using the word financial securities over here. Custodian is someone who is not at all owner of your assets, who is just who is just in charge of your custody of your financial assets. They just take care. They keep them in a safe custody. Whenever you need them, they give you. They just charge a small amount of fees for that. Second point to note about custodian is not necessarily be a traditional bank. For example, somebody is a custodian bank. We call them a custodian bank, and you cannot go and ask for a savings account or a loan from them. Custodian bank is a bank, but it only does the custody services. That is safeguarding your financial assets and keeping them safe. Third point to note about custodian is if the custodian safe keeps a client's assets across multiple geographies using their own local branches or the other local custodians in the geographies or that particular country, they will be called as global custodian. Okay. Some of the examples of custodians are HSBC Bank, Deutsche Bank, ING, and Citibank. These are some well-known custodians. Any question on custodian, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Coming forward to depository, what is a depository? It is again a specialized financial institution holding securities in form of shares or digital form. These days, the digital form are very prominent, very popular. So this is depository. So we'll understand about depository. You see that custodian is also somebody who stores your stores your financial assets. Okay, they see safeguarded, they keep it safe. And depository is also something which is holding your financial securities. Okay, if you see that I have specifically mentioned there are specialized financial institution holding securities. So you might be thinking, what is the difference between custodian and depository? So a depository is a legal owner of financial securities. Unless you take something from depository, actually buy from them, it will be in name of that particular depository itself. Wherein if, for example, if you are there are 100,000 shares lying of XYZ Limited in a depository and nobody has purchased them yet, then the depository itself is the owner of those financial shares. Okay. And this particular scenario cannot happen in custodian because custodian themselves don't own anything. They are there just to keep their clients' assets safe. Let it be your securities, your cash, okay, your gold, or anything like that. Even your bonds and debentures. They are there just to hold. Most of the people use custody services to hold their belongings, hold their financial assets in a different geographical location where they are not present. All right. Second point of discrimination is it allows, since depository uh, is the owner of those assets. They are the legal owners. So transfer of securities is possible, and also clearing and settlement is also possible. For example, let's consider there are three people, me, Vansh, and Anuradha, for example. So I owe something to Anuradha, okay? And similarly, I owe something from Vansh. And there we these all things like the shares, the holdings of all of them are there in depository. Like there is a depository called Piyush. Piyush is aware that okay, These 3% are having shares in my depository. If me as Raghav, go to Piyush and say that Piyush, I owe 100,000 shares to Anuradha, and Vansh owes 100,000 shares to me. So what I'll do is I will not take from Vansh and I will not give it to Anuradha. Why don't you just facilitate and make an arrangement whereas an Vansh directly makes the payment to Anuradha? That is called third party settlement, which is only possible in depository. Okay. Same is not possible in custodian, in case of custodian, because custodians are not the legal owners of your financial assets. If I go and tell ki, okay, Piyush, please settle this, you will say, boss, I'm not allowed to do that. I can, if you say me to transfer it to Anuradha, or if you tell me to accept payment from Vansh, I can do that for you. If you want to do an internal settlement, I cannot do that, boss. That's too risky for me. That's what custodian will say. The third point is every depository is a custodian. Depository, all of the depositories can act as custodian, whereas custody is just a function of depository. If you see this equation over here, depository is equals to custody plus control, legal ownership of securities. Okay, are we clear to here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any questions that I can answer?
No.
All right. Now comes exchange. What is exchange? So the exchange acts an intermediary between the investors and the issuers. Before we go ahead and understand what is exchange, I want to share a few things with you guys. Okay, I want your attention, guys. Now, if you have noticed, this word intermediary is coming a lot of time, and it will also come a lot of time in future. Is that clear? Or of you have noticed this?
Yes, Raghav.
Why is this? Can you tell me? Why is this word intermediary is coming a lot of times? Why is that?
It's because there's always a third party involved in every trade or transactions.
Yes, you can say that. And the major reason is this entire market, this entire financial industry. This is based on a simple fact that money keeps on rotating. It will go in one hand to another hand, then from another hand to the third hand, then fourth, and then this keeps on rotating. This will never stop. अगर हिंदी में भी अगर अपन बात करें तो घर पे भी काफी लोगों को कहते हुए सुना होगा कि ये लक्ष्मी है, ये हाथों का मैल होती है, या ये टिकती नहीं है, या ना, all sort of those shit. This is actually true. If you see that in finance industry, the money never stops. If the money stops somewhere, entire market will collapse. बहुत ऐसे incidents पास में हुए भी हैं. Have you seen that movie, Wolf of Wall Street? Anybody has seen that movie? Hello, am I audible, guys?
Yes, Raghav, you are. No, we haven't seen.
Yes,
Okay.
Raghav, I have seen that movie.
Okay. Okay, I hope you have seen it for the good purpose and not for Margaret Robbie. All right, that was a small humorous joke. So yeah, so that movie starts with this note that one day, one particular day, Monday, the money stops flowing and the entire market crashes. So entire the Wall Street comes down and many people lose their jobs. And this has happened like quite a times before. That instead of flowing in out of the pockets, people were pulling the money back from the market, which results in collapse of the market. So you will encounter this word intermediary a lot of time. All we can do is to create a system of flowing of money movement, that this particular money will flow through this, through this, through this, through this. That's how it will flow. That's why the word intermediary will keep on coming a lot. Moving ahead, one more intermediary we'll learn about, which is our exchange. What is exchange? Anybody? Can anybody explain me what is exchange?
It is also an intermediary only. It is a
Okay.
platform where buyers and sellers meet.
Okay. I will try to explain again it in general terms. So all of our whatever we say, अगर हम छोटा सा UPI transfer भी किसी को करते हैं, that particular UPI transaction also takes place in form of signals, in form of instructions. Even if we are talking on call right now, this is because I am sending some signals from my devices which are going in the cloud and then coming back to your devices. So this is exchange of instructions and signals, just to for the sake of proper routing, that I have made a UPI transfer to say Harsha, and it should not go to Veena. That's the responsibility of exchange, to properly route the instructions, properly route the signals. Similarly, in finance industry also, the exchange acts as intermediary between the investors and the issuers. So buyers and sellers, first of all, are not directly in contact with issuers. If I'm going to go and buy shares of Reliance Industries Limited, I will not go in the office of Reliance Industries to buy the shares. Sir, give me shares. No. I will contact the stock exchange. I will buy through stock exchange via my demat account. Okay. So issuers will list their shares in exchanges. Exchanges are responsible for holding the for listing the shares and holding the orders coming from buyers and sellers, and then buyers can buy the shares from exchanges and sellers can sell their shares on exchanges in lieu of money. Because of exchange themselves does not clear the anything. I mean, and they are just there to hold the shares. They are just a platform. They're just like a billboard where all the prices of shares are listed. The actual exchange takes place at a clearing house. So this is when a clearing house comes into the scene. What is a clearing house? A clearing house is a financial institution that provides clearing and settlement services for financial securities and transactions. Okay. For example, I'm going into the market. I'm entering into a trade of 100,000 shares of a particular company. I approach exchange. I see the prices in exchange. I place an order to buy it. Order gets circulated and reaches its final steps. Or order progresses and reaches its final steps, and we are close to settlement. The actual settlement will not take place in exchange. The actual settlement will take place in a clearing house. The clearing house is the financial institution which helps us, you know. Okay, I request you to mute yourselves, guys. Please put yourself on mute, everyone.
It's actually my
So the actual exchange of securities or the actual settlement of any transaction does not take place at exchange. Exchange is just a medium to facilitate the instructions. The actual exchange of money and securities, whether in digital or physical form, takes place at a clearing house. Clearing house is the place where the settlements are done. All right.
Sorry to interrupt, Raghav, but there are certain disturbances.
Yeah, I have muted him. It was from Sakshi's end. That's all right. Okay. So are we clear on clearinghouse?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys can still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Then let's move ahead and see this diagram. If a seller wants to sell its securities and a buyer wants to buy certain securities, they will do it through the clearinghouse. The seller will get its payment and the buyer will get the securities. Clearinghouse is the one responsible for that. Now comes into the scene documentation standard provider. Why is a documentation necessary, guys? Can anybody tell me? Why is the need of a standardized document anyways?
Proof.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I was saying to have a record of everything.
Yes. And why is that record necessary?
So in case of any kind of misunderstanding or miscommunication, you have.
Exactly. So that there is no misunderstanding. So that the people are already cautious in advance. The people are well aware in advance what to do and what not to do. That is why a documentation standard is required. Okay. And one more thing over here. Why is documentation standard as an entity is a different entity altogether is required? This is because there you must have heard that there are two type of trades. One is OTC trades and one is exchange traded trades, right?
Yes, sir.
Anybody from you, if you can help me with the full form of OTC? Anyone?
Over the
Over
counter.
the counter.
Over the counter, exactly, which are non-standard markets, non-governed markets, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
trades, when participants trade in OTC market, there is a need to standardize the legal documentation. The organization which do these are called documentation standard provider. As simple as that. Okay. There are two type of documentation standard providers, ISDA, ISLA. These are the prominent ones. International Swaps and Derivatives Association and ISLA, International Securities and Lending Association. Are we clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there any question that I can answer?
No, sir.
So we are only left with steps of trade life cycle. Okay. And I think it's better to quickly go for a lunch break and come back in 25 minutes. I hope 25 minutes is enough for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is this something more or less? What you usually get? I heard that you get 10 minutes of break.
Yes,
It's
sir.
more.
Okay, but I believe some of you people are living alone by yourselves, or all of you are living with your families.
Hello.
Families, mostly family.
Mostly families, and some of them are alone. So it will not be a fair deal to treat the people who are living alone like the ones who are living with their families, right? So I have lived alone in my life, so I understand what we have to do. All of the things somebody may need to, eat their food, then eat it. So I give you a fair 25 minutes. We'll see you at 2:10. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, Raghav.
For those people who are having bandwidth problems, can disconnect the call and come back. For those who are having enough sufficient speed and data left, they can just keep the call on and go for their breaks.
Yes.
Okay. See you at 2 and 2:10 sharp, guys.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, is everyone back?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Raghav.
We'll give everybody 2 to 3 more minutes.
Yeah, Raghav. I'm back.
Guys, can we quickly check if everybody is there? I will call out your names and you have to speak up yes. Okay? Anuradha, you there?
Yes.
Nishta,
Yes, sir.
Piyush,
Yes, sir.
Shanu,
Yes, Raghav.
Vansh,
Yes, sir.
Priya,
Yes, sir.
Akhil,
Yes, sir.
Harsha,
Yes, sir.
and Veena.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So, guys, a quick feedback. How is this session going on till now? Do you want me to make any changes?
No, sir, it's perfectly fine.
That's fine. What is your understanding level? Are you able to grasp what I'm saying, what I'm trying to tell?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Raghav.
Perfect. And is there anything that you learned today till now?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay, since everybody is here, so let's move on. And for the remaining part of our session today, I have decided to use Emarticus content. Okay, so I'll be showing you that only instead of my own presentation because that will be more relevant to you and your course. Okay, so we'll move ahead.
Sir,
Sorry.
just a suggestion, like if we could only use your presentation, it would like give a
Uh,
different perspective to what we have already learned.
Okay, so my presentation is also based out of that. We'll refer to that once we have completed all the steps. It's nothing more different from what's the content. In that way, we'll be able to see what Marticus is doing for us, and it's actually a good content. I was utilizing my lunch break to go through the content what Marticus has said, and I personally like the content on Marticus. It's similar, but it's in detail. Trust me, you will not be missing anything. You'll be learning two, three things extra only. So we were here on the steps of trade life cycle. We'll look into it, each of it one by one. So as we have discussed sales using the Zomato or the prior Zomato example, sales is this is a process of client acquisition which HNIs or institutional clients are introduced to various investment products or vehicles. Similarly, how Zomato displays all the food and all the restaurants on their app, that is sales. Similarly, in trade, there are your trade managers or your investment managers. They take care of all those displaying of different investment products or vehicles. This is how they acquire the client. This is the process of client acquisition, as it says. And this thing mentions that this is an HNI or institutional clients. I say that it can be anyone. Okay. Since we are looking at a broader picture of trade life cycle, which can be used whenever and wherever you trade. So we will believe that client acquisition can not only go for HNIs, but it can be for normal people like you and me as well. Okay. These vehicles or products are available with an investment manager or bank by whom the client's investment are managed. As we have already spoken on this, we have already covered this, that there would be an investment manager or your say portfolio manager. Somebody will be there from your bank or any investment organization which is taking care of your trading part, and they will be telling you, they will be giving you advices, they will be making, if you authorize them, they will be making investment decisions on your behalf. So it will be done by them. The investments are collectively called mutual fund or hedge fund, and not only mutual fund and hedge fund, there are many other investments as well, like securities. When it comes to trade life cycle, in any investment like securities, debentures, bond, derivatives, swaps, any product you can name, there will be a trade life cycle. All right. So this is sales part. Second part is trade initiation and execution. The second step. This is the process of placing an order in the market. So once you have identified what food you want to eat today, you go ahead and you place that order. So that is the initiation of your trade. The moment you add that food to your basket with the purpose to order it, that is called the trade initiation. Trade initiation and execution can be done both in order and quote-driven markets. I hope you guys are aware of order and quote-driven markets.
Yes, sir.
Anybody who doesn't know order and quote-driven markets here, I'm very happy to explain. Anybody here?
Yeah, Raghav, yeah, like we have certain sort of knowledge. We are good to go.
Okay, that makes sense. Perfectly fine. And for also who doesn't know and they're hesitating in speaking up, this is a brief introduction about order and quote-driven markets. Order-driven markets are the markets who are open to all. Okay, the bids, the asks, the prices, that is open. It is transparent and it's open for everybody. Uh, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the quote-driven markets are only for certain market specialists. The bids and prices are not available for everyone. They are only available for certain people, certain institutions, and certain marketplaces or for some certain securities. Whenever the word certain is associated with the ask and bid thing, it will be called as quant-driven market. Okay, this is quote-driven markets are usually done to correct the market correction. Okay? This depends on the choice of marketplace and on the external platform. Trade initiation we are talking about, guys, over here. So trade initiation depends on the choice of marketplace and on the external platform. So this particular line means that depending on the marketplace and depending on, for example, if we are, you know, we are going ahead, we are looking forward to buy a bond. Okay, that you can just go ahead, or we are going to look ahead, we are looking forward to buy a mutual fund. It is very easy these days. There are apps for it. You just download the app, you choose your uh, the mutual fund you want to invest in, and then you just invest in. You just add your bank details, you complete your KYC, and you can just invest in it right away. So and for some shares, for some specific kind of shares, you have to wait. You have to place an initial order, then the entire trade life cycle will be followed. So depending on securities to securities, I have already covered that it is very important for us to understand that depending on different markets, depending on different securities and different products or different assets, there could be a steps more, like 2-3 steps more or less in a trade life cycle, but this is the basic. So trade initiation and execution is also depending on marketplace, that which steps are identified as trade initiation and execution. Following up, next the order, once the order is placed and it gets matched, the trade is said to be executed. Once the order is placed, the order is initiated and it also gets matched. Okay, we have your supplies. Then the trade has said to be executed. Remember, the transaction is not completed yet. The trade is just matched. Zomato has just confirmed your order, or we say that Zomato has just accepted your order. When you have placed the order, when the order is still pending for approval from the restaurant guy will actually go and check the inventory. For example, our dear friend Anuradha over here wishes to eat a different kind of momos today. She's like, this is Saturday and I want to enjoy it like nicely. And I'm gonna eat a different kind of momo today. Or I'm gonna enjoy a different kind of ice cream today. So Zomato, she has placed an order. Although Zomato will, in the first place, will not be able to, show anything which it will not be able to fulfill. Similarly, our markets. ऐसा कोई ऑर्डर उस पर दिखाया ही नहीं जाएगा जो फुलफिल ना किया जा सके. So order getting matched is a 99.99% possibility. Okay, but for some instances, for some reason, Zomato or your market for that matter is not able to fulfill your order. Your confirmation will not be matched, and it will get rejected. Are we clear on trade initiation and execution?
Yes.
Okay, and then it is trade capture. What is trade capture? Now, once an order is placed, so who takes your order? The front end traders, the brokers, okay, what we call traders or brokers, we call them. They take your order and they capture the trade into their systems. Traders are then booked internally. Trades are then booked internally in an front office system for it to flow down to the operating systems. So once a trade is booked by the front office, it gets flowed to the middle office, and for the further process, for further operations like trade validation, enrichment, and completing all the economics of the trade, it gets into the system. But before that, before it flows for trade validation and enrichment, it is booked into risk management system. For example, few days before, when this lockdown situation was not so lenient and it was very harsh, you could see that again on the Zomato thing only, that certain restaurants were not delivering to certain areas, Is somebody living in Old City or near to Old City in Jaipur?
No, sir, but I've got my office there.
Okay, okay. Anybody else who is having any idea of Old City in
Near to
Jaipur?
Old.
Hello?
Yes, sir. So I live near to.
Nearby. Okay. So
Yeah.
if you see, Zomato guys or Swiggy guys or Domino's guys, they don't deliver to Old City, specifically Domino's restaurant. Or have you ever encountered anything like that? That in your particular area, some restaurant does not deliver, a prominent restaurant does not deliver to your area.
Yes, one of my friends lives in North and he told me that for taking the order, he has to go like around 100 to 200 meters out of his way to collect the order.
Yes, exactly. Because some people, I'm so sorry, I'm saying people, some of the companies or some of the restaurants are having some of the policies which restricts them to deliver to certain areas. Okay. Similarly, in a trade life cycle as well, there are certain geographies which are restricted, which are not allowed to trade. So for identifying those trade economics in a trade, it is booked into risk management system. If some red country, red sign country, red flag country, or say any country which has issues with terrorism or something like that, the trade has to be identified for any risk. Okay, for the same reason, it is booked into risk management system so that the company, if the company is completing the trade, the company is proceeding and completing and settling the trade, any charges or any accounts are not coming on. This is why the trade is booked into the risk management system before getting it flowing down to the operations. Then the next step, the fourth step is trade validation and enrichment. The reference data team set up the static and dynamic details which help middle office teams to validate the trade before releasing instructions in the market. So what the reference data team does is they collect different details. I'll explain you in layman language. For example, now this trade details has come to the middle of reference data team. What they will do is they will try to book all the details there only. All right. So just to validate the trade that this particular trade is approved by our risk management system, is duly matched and is matching the instructions with the system. Okay. Uh, how do I explain it to you? If I have to give you an example, again, I'll take the Zomato example only. Basically, there is no team in Zomato as such reference data team, but then this is something happening on the computer basis. This is something which is happening automatically. Now, this certain things getting matched. For example, location. Location we have entered. Location is a very prominent detail to validate that particular transaction. The location entered by the customer is similar to the matching with his written address, or something like the customer has paid in advance, or something they're paying. So all these details, these minute details are called trade economics in the trade. So they just validate and cross check with the systems with the information they are already having. We have already discussed that one of the prominent work of investment bank is to do a market research. So they keep a market research with them. They keep all the updated documents, all the updated sets, rules, regulations, everything. So they just validate it against their own instructions before they actually release instructions in the market, and they progress for the actual trade settlement and match. So if you see, this is the example: SSI, security identifier number, currency, counterparty, holiday calendar, markets. All these are basic examples of trade economics. The next step is trade confirmation. This is an extremely critical step for the trade settlement. Trade details and SSIs are agreed with the counterparty at least a day prior to the settlement. So here the counterparty, we have understood before that clearinghouse, the clearinghouse acts as the central counterparty. CCP also what we call them. It acts as a central counterparty for all the buyers and sellers. So for all the sellers, it becomes the buyer, and all the buyers, it becomes the seller. So they agree all the details and SSIs. SSIs are standing settlement instructions. It's not written over here. So SSIs are standing settlement instructions, the big code, the Swift code, the type of Swift they're sending, or anything with that, it's there in the trade. They agree it with the CCP, which is our clearinghouse, a day before, at least a day before the settlement date, so that on the actual settlement date, there is no hustle. Have you understood trade confirmation?
Yes.
Okay. Now, trade settlement. This is the process of simultaneous exchange of cash versus securities for a security trade, or cash versus or cash versus cash for a derivative trade. So depending on the trade, but the whole idea is the trade settlement. What does the trade settlement means? Trade settlement means the actual transfer of money and securities to the respective accounts. As simple as that. Trade settlement is the actual transfer of the entitlements, we can say, to the entitled parties. Whatever they have been trading for, when it gets traded, when it gets delivered to the parties, it's actually the trade settlement. The trade is considered settled. Okay. Or the other part, what could be the other part of this is, for example, although if you see that in the previous step trade confirmation, they actually agree the details and SSIs with the counterparty at least a day before. So for example, there are cases when you actually go and start working for any settlement department, you see that there are a number of trades that are failing also on daily basis. There are trades who are getting failed because the counterparty is not able to deliver, because sometimes the client has cancelled, sometimes they are short on security, sometimes this is that. In that particular case, the trade doesn't get settled and it gets failed. And there are certain regulations and charges upon every failed trade, which are borne by different counterparties depending on whose fault was it. And the second part was reconciliation. Once we have delivered the shares, we reconcile with the figures that as per books and as per the actual holdings. This will give you a clearer picture. This is where the accounting part comes into this. This is, if you can see, this is the diagram. So this diagram has divided our trade life cycle into 12 steps. There's nothing different from what we have studied. This is just they have trade execution, trade capture. This is front office. Then trade capture in back office. Back office is not capturing the trade separately. The trade capture from front office is flowing into the systems of back office. Then there's trade enrichment. Then there's trade validation. Then trade agreement. Then trade reporting. Reporting to our regulators that this particular trade is going to happen. If anything you want to do with it, you please stop it right now. This is the time. Then the settlement instructions. Settlement instructions are exchanged. Role of custodian. The custodian, actually the one who's holding. Okay. For example, Piyush is holding its money in Citibank, and custodian is Citibank, and Piyush is trading with Vanch. Okay. And Piyush asks Citibank that if Vanch sends you the instruction for 100,000 shares of some company, and if that particular payment is asked from Vanch, then I am authorizing you to make that payment. And collecting that from Vanch becomes your responsibility, and the responsibility of the mediator, which is our clearinghouse, and also the responsibility of regulators. But then Citibank is in good faith that regulators and the mediators of clearinghouse and regulators and investment banks, they are doing their work and they will not miss. They will make the payment to Vanch if Piyush has sent them the standing instructions. That is the role of custodian. So custodian cannot transfer until unless authorized by the client. Then it's free value date settlement, then trade settlement, and then it's reflecting trade settlement internally. That is nothing, just the reconciliation part. So these are the steps, guys. These were the steps. Is there any question, anything that I can answer?
No doubts, Raghav, as of now, from my side.
Let me ask everyone individually. Anuradha,
Yes.
is there anything that I can answer? Are there any questions?
No, no.
Have you understood? This no is coming because, see, if a person is not having questions, that is only because of two things. या तो उसको पूरा समझ में आ गया या उसको कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया. Which one is your case?
पूरा समझ में आ गया.
पूरा समझ में आ गया. Very nice. Nisha, questions?
Sir, no questions.
Which case is with you, first or second?
Somewhere in between, I'm trying to just process.
Okay. While I'm asking others, you please go through what I've told you. I believe you guys are taking notes. You please go through your notes and let me know which part I can explain more. We still have time. Okay. Then we have Piyush with us.
Yes, sir. Sir, I've understood everything.
Okay.
Just that, can you please explain a little bit more about how risk management system works?
Okay. So risk management system. Okay. Just keep a note of this risk management system. I will explain anything apart from risk management system.
No, sir, that's this one.
Shanu.
No, Raghav, I understood.
Vansh.
I'm good, sir.
Understood, Vansh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Priya.
Yes, sir, no doubts.
Okay. Then Akhil.
Yeah, none, sir. All good.
Reason being number one or number two? सब समझ में आया या कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया?
Yeah, number one.
Number one. Harsha.
Yes, sir, no doubt.
No doubts.
No, sir.
Veena.
No doubt, sir.
And lastly, we have Yogesh with us.
Understood, sir. Whatever you have explained, everything. So no doubt as of now.
No doubts. Okay. So Piyush, about risk management system. Every organization who's dealing with money, every organization which is dealing with something which does not belong to us, anything. For example, अगर अपन फिर से Zomato वाले एग्जांपल पे आ जाते हैं, तो अभी बाहर में रिस्क है. If you step out, there is a risk of coronavirus. So they have implemented a risk management system to check the rider before the temperature before the delivery, to check the quality of the food, to ensure that Zomato tapes, Zomato packings are there to ensure that the food is not getting opened in between, and you should not accept that the food is opened or something like that. So risk management system of any organization or any company is nothing but a set of instructions, a set of regulations, a strict, I would say, set of strict regulations and set of strict protocols that they follow in order to avoid any mistake or regulatory activities, or by mistakenly funding terrorists, कुछ भी ऐसा जो गलत हो सकता है, there is a place. Every organization are having different. For example, if you talk about Deutsche Bank, okay, there are certain parts of the world which are restricted to trade to. You cannot trade to Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Cuba, and there are many like these. So these all are restricted countries. So if by chance in any trade there is a detail that this particular counterparty or this particular client is coming from Afghanistan, or let's say Pakistan, okay, then you as the computer operator over there, you as the investment banking manager or trade settlement analyst over there, you have the right to report it to the risk management, although it will not flow to you in the first place, but because of the risk management system itself, but then you have a right because you have been trained on it. So risk management system is nothing but a system, a set of policies, rules, regulations implied to assure that the complete company policies are being followed. This is risk management. It just cross checks all the information, all the trade economics of the trade, so that गलती से भी हम लोग कहीं ऐसी जगह पे या ऐसी चीज में, कभी कभार कुछ चीज होती है जो restricted होती है. For example, there are certain illegal items that you cannot trade for. Okay, then there are certain currencies that you cannot trade in. Then there are some countries which you cannot trade in. There's some geographies, some amount restrictions कुछ होता है कोई जगह पे. The risk management system is nothing but that.
Okay, sir.
Are you experienced, Piyush?
No, sir, I'm a fresher.
You are a fresher. Okay. Whenever you will go for a job, what happen will you will ask to submit all your documents, including your PAN card, your Aadhaar card, your 10th mark sheet, your everything. Why? Because just to identify that you are a real and legal person. Just to identify two things, that you are real and you are legal. Okay. This is just a part of their risk management system, the HR's risk management system. Are we clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now just allow me a moment. While I was asking Nishita. Nishta. Nisha, have you gone through?
Yes, sir, I'm going through. It's all okay.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. In that case, that is an adios from my side, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you, and it was a very nice experience. You guys also cooperated very well. All right. And all the best for your answer. Please
Thank
stay
you so
safe and
much.
stay safe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Just
sir.
You too,
allow
you too.
Thank you, sir.
allow me 2 minutes before disconnecting the call.
Sure.
Sure.
Dear people, so we are finally done with our guest lecture, and thank you for being there. Thank you for tolerating me. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Raghav.
Thank you, sir.
You too. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you so much, Raghav. Have a good day.
You.